Hey guys.
So we're recording this after we've recorded the episode, and we're adding this back in just because something big happened.
Yes, so last week the Derek Chauvin conviction came in and the jury pronounced him guilty, and we just wanted to say, this is not the first step, it is one of the many steps that we are all going to have to take to achieve racial justice in this country.
Yes, and I know there's a lot of stereotypes when it comes to the South, and Robin and I want to make it very clear that we are on the side of change.
And to quote, I think the Bitter Southerner says it best in their tagline, and they say, "We believe in a better South." And we here at Haunted Hospitality wholeheartely agree. So we just wanted to share our thoughts and feelings on this subject with you, and
hope that you can celebrate with us.
Yes.
So without further ado, please listen to episode 6.
Welcome to Haunted Hospitality, Southern Stories Told by Spooky Gingers. I'm Robin.
And I'm Zoe, and I have a story for you today. But first, Robin, how's life?
Thank you for asking.
It's almost like it's scripted into our podcast or something.
No, you just care. You just care really reliably with the same words.
Yeah.
It's good. Currently, your cat is trying to get at my coffee.
Yes, he is. He's trying to be sneaky about it, too. Last episode, we did shut him into the room, but I did check on him between recordings, and he just sneezed, and I felt bad. So...
It doesn't help that he has a jangling collar. What's he doing?
I think he was trying to sneeze again.
He was just vibrating.
And not in the purring way.
Yeah.
But he is joining us for today's episode until he won't be. Let's see how long it takes before we cut him out.
Okay. But okay, about my life, Zoe.
Yes.
I've just been thinking about times that I've been really creeped out.
Okay.
But that I haven't seen anything specifically.
Okay.
Because I was listening, I don't know, sometimes I listen to other podcasts, and I hear people talk, and people talk about, like, seeing ghosts as if it's something that is just so normal to them. As if they see them all the time, because sometimes they do. But I've been thinking about times where I felt really creeped out, and sometimes it's about ghosts, and sometimes it's not about ghosts. And I wanted to tell you about something that I don't think I've told you before. I call it my Spidey sense, and it is not helpful.
Okay, as I drink sweet tea out of a Spider-Man cup.
Oh, I didn't do that on purpose. Though, to be honest, subconsciously, maybe that's...
What brought it up?
Maybe. I mean, not exactly. Because I had thought about this before. But when I feel like I'm in danger, I'm going to turn around so you can see my back. I get a tingling sensation. Right here.
Okay, she's pointing at, like...
I'm pointing to the right of my mid-spine.
Yes.
It is not on the surface. It is deep in there.
Okay.
And it is not helpful if I'm actually in danger, because it's like I'm hitting my funny bone over and over.
Ooh.
It is like tickling, but hurting.
I think you need to see a doctor.
Shh. And it only happens when I really feel like I'm in danger.
Okay.
So... It's never been convenient, but there was one time I was 16 and helping out with a haunted yard situation.
Okay.
And there was a neighbor, not my neighbor, a neighbor who was helping us, and he was an older man. And he was really gruff, and he just hung out in the tree directly behind me. And I'm dressed in a hood, it's nighttime. He's up there. He gives me the heebie-jeebies. At one point, he asks us teenagers if we have tequila. We tell the man no.
Okay.
The entire time, you have to be so still because you are a hooded figure and you are trying to scare little children, okay?
Right.
I was trying to be so still. My back was going crazy because I did not trust this man who was hanging out behind me. My back was telling me we were in danger, and I was like, listen, Robin, there's a lot of other people here. You are not actively in danger. Why did you look above me? Why did you look above me?
There's a hair floating in the sky.
She just looked above me like she was looking at that guy positioned in the tree. Anyway, so try being completely still when something inside your back is tickling you and hurting you at the same time.
Yeah.
Anyway, that's just something I've been thinking about lately.
I mean, yeah, I kind of get that feeling a little bit. Like, you know that, like, if you're nervous laughing almost, but you don't want to laugh, like, it kind of feels sick to your stomach. Like, you get that, like, kind of hysterical feeling like you need to laugh. But it's, like, you're more, like, laughing to protect yourself rather than you're laughing because you've heard something funny. I kind of get, like, that feeling. Like, it's a little bit like, almost like a more mild feeling of when you're on a roller coaster and it goes down, like, in your stomach.
Okay.
And, so as a part of my job, I go into abandoned houses a lot. More than the average person. And sometimes, on the rare occasion, I'm the last one in the office. And my office isn't in the best area. It's not in a bad area, but it's enough that we have a security system and a camera on the outside of the house. So, because my office is in a house, technically. But sometimes when I'm the only one there, I get that feeling. You know, I know there's nothing there. But especially when I'm in the abandoned houses, they're not abandoned per se. It's just we buy the houses of people who typically need to leave very quickly.
Okay.
And so a lot of the time they leave their stuff behind. And sometimes I'll walk through these houses, and it goes back to what I was saying, I think in episode 1, about how ghosts are almost memories to me. Because as you're walking through this house and you see the photos on the wall.
Oh, they left the photos?
Yeah. And you see the stuff everywhere. It's just like I'm walking through someone else's memories. They're never coming back. And it feels haunted to me.
I would say that's definitely haunted.
Yeah. So I kind of get what you're talking about. But anyway, Robin, you have a something Southern prepared?
I do have a something Southern for you. So last week...
Yes, we started our quiz show.
Yes, a 2-part quiz show that we might periodically
return to.
Yes.
So I quizzed you on city names that were real or fake, including the cities of Avocado and La Crosse.
Yes.
One of those is real, one of them is fake. You have to listen to the previous episode, figure out which.
Okay, well, I'm going to quiz you on real or fake Southern food.
Okay.
I think we should come up with an on-the-spot theme song for this series that we're doing.
Well,
something
you were the
Southern
one...
with Robin and Zoe.
Okay. You were the one in chorus, not me. I specifically stayed out of chorus.
I was in chorus 1 year when you knew me.
Yes.
And then I tried out again for honors, and then it turns out my schedule conflicted, but nobody told me so I could switch it. Sorry.
Oh.
That's why I didn't get in.
Oh.
We later learned that because Karina brought up my name in chorus, and then her chorus teacher was like, oh yeah, we wanted her in, but then it wouldn't work out with her schedule.
Oh my gosh.
And because I hadn't signed up for it, because I didn't know if I was getting into it, because I didn't want to be presumptuous.
Gotcha.
That's a lesson, guys. Sign up for honors chorus.
Yes, do it now.
Yeah. Okay, so Zoe, I'm going to do a bit of a different format than you did. I'm going to ask you 5 questions, and I'm going to pair a real food with a non-real food.
So and then you have to tell you which one's real.
Yes. And then I'm going to add a second part to it. I've just decided right now.
Okay.
Where I want you to describe what you think the real one is.
Okay.
Okay. Which is real? Chocolate gravy or velvet ribs?
Velvet ribs. Oh my god. I want to go with chocolate gravy.
Okay.
Because I know there are curries that have dark chocolate as the ingredient.
Okay.
Because it's like if you take dark chocolate without the sugar and the milk, it's actually a very useful spice. So I'm going to go with chocolate gravy, and I'm going to say that it has the no sugar, no milk chocolate in it. It's not sweet. I'm going to say it's savory, and that's what chocolate gravy is.
Okay. You're correct that chocolate gravy exists. Now, I don't know if it's sweet or not, but it is served with biscuits, and it's typically a breakfast food.
Okay.
Yes. And I don't know that much about this food.
Okay.
I got all this from it'saSouthernthing.com or southernthing.com.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So congratulations
Thank
on that
you.
one. Your next question. Which is real? Coolicles or mashed lotus?
Coolicles
Coolicles.
or mashed lotus?
Yeah.
So, my imagination for mashed lotus would be like a lotus flower treated like mashed potatoes, but I don't think that's real. I think the coolicles is the one that's real, and I legitimately think it's just a popsicle stick in a pickle, and they put it in the freezer, and that's what a coolicle is.
You are correct that coolicles are the real one. You are not correct as to what they are. It is a pickle that is soaked in Kool-Aid and sugar.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
Oh my god.
Like Kool-Aid powder and sugar.
No.
Yeah. Isn't that just your nightmare food?
Yes. Yes, it is.
My next question for you.
Uh-huh.
Which is real? Honeyed livers or pineapple cheese casserole? You looked like you were going to throw up.
I was.
Okay, which is real?
Pineapple cheese, what was it?
Casserole.
Casserole. I'm really hoping it's not the liver one. So I'm going to go with the pineapple cheese casserole. And I think it's like, I think it's a dessert and the cheese is cream cheese. And it's kind of like a fruit salad with the cream cheese mixing.
You are correct that the pineapple cheese
Ooh.
exists. I just looked up for information on it, and it has no information other than two ingredients are pineapple and cheese, but it does have a photo. And I think I've actually eaten it before. I don't like it.
That just looks...
It looks like chunky applesauce, but made from pineapples, and then you
Yeah.
can see little bits of cheese in there.
Yeah.
It does not look appetizing.
No.
All right, so far you're 3 for 3.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I'm not getting the descriptions correct,
No,
but...
you're not. But
yeah.
I mean, to be fair, you're not designed to. Which is accurate? Potato tears or slup burger?
A slut burger?
I realized how that's slup burger.
Okay. So potato tears, and this is like tears, like crying.
You can, I mean, I can't tell you.
Okay.
You gotta think
Potato
about it.
tears or slup burger. I want to go with the potato tears on this one.
Okay.
And because I know potatoes have eyes.
Okay.
So I'm imagining it's some sort of like sweet. Like you take white potatoes, but you make it sweet somehow.
So potato tears do not exist.
Dang.
I'm really happy that I got you on potato tears. What's an eye of a potato?
It's like the little part that the root comes out of.
Oh, fun. No, it doesn't exist. Slup burgers. One word.
Slut burgers.
Slut burgers exist. It really does sound like we're just saying that. And the patty is beef, pork, and soybeans made into a patty and then deep fried.
Okay. And these are available at Hooters.
In Northeast Mississippi and North Alabama. Okay. Not Hooters in those areas. Maybe, who knows? Maybe. Okay. Probably not.
Probably not. They have wings. That's it.
I've never actually been.
I think I've been once. I don't remember, though. I was a kid.
Okay.
Which is a great place to bring the kid.
I mean, I wasn't gonna... Yeah. The final question.
Uh-huh.
Which is real? Burgoo or duck fried salad?
Burgoo?
Burgoo.
Burgoo.
Yeah. Or duck fried salad.
Can you please spell burgoo for me?
BURGOO.
Oh my god. I'm gonna say burgoo just because I'm imagining it's you take the grease from when you make a burger and you like fold it into flour or something and make a condiment from it.
How do you think condiments are made?
Well, you would fold it into flour, and so it would be like stiff enough that it could goo on.
You know, that's actually it's a very logical idea. Burgoo does exist.
Woo!
You got 4 out of 5 correct.
Okay.
It's not that, though. It is a stew that is made from things like tomato, chicken, and rabbit. And it has a lot of other ingredients. It's just kind of like a catch-all type stew. It's available in Kentucky.
Okay.
Which apparently we covered.
Okay.
Yeah. We should probably...
And I wasn't offensive during any of that, was I? Like, that wasn't anyone's, like, native meal or something like that?
I mean, people might be like, I love chocolate gravy.
Okay. I didn't want to, like, if there was, like, a indigenous meal in there, I didn't want to...
I don't think so.
Okay.
I mean, I don't know.
I don't want to step on anybody's culture.
I don't know.
I don't mind stepping on Southern culture, though.
I mean, it can still be Southern culture and an indigenous culture.
True.
If we did that, I'm sorry, but I don't think we did.
Okay.
I think these are just weird
just
Southern
don't like
foods.
liver. I don't like liver. Oh my God.
I came up with honeyed livers. So you didn't do anything bad. We got a comment on our Instagram story that said, yes!
Who was it? Was it Brittany?
Karina,
gotcha. I knew it was one
I'm
of those
assuming
two.
it is to the song The Beast. Oh, hey, real quick, I'm just going to plug something that we're doing.
Okay. Right, yes, please.
Okay. For our Instagram stories, for every single episode we have, we're going to have 2 to 3 songs up on our Insta stories. I'm going to make it a highlight so you can go back and look that we think are emblematic of each episode. So right now, the 3 episodes that are out are the first one, Mary the Wanderer, Biltmore, and Devil's Tramping Ground. So
yes.
Yeah. So each one has songs. Go up there if you want some cool, often moody tunes. Sometimes I'm probably going to just put like a completely, a song that has to do with it, but maybe not moody, but just, what is she doing?
A kid's song.
What kid's song? What do you mean a kid's song?
Do your ears hang low? Do they wobble to the floor?
No, I'm not going to do that.
Oh.
I don't think. I mean, who knows, you know?
I'm specifically going to find a story about long dingly ears.
I don't even know the song you're... Anyway, check out our Instagram at Haunted Hospitality if you want to see it. Now, I'm going to bet you that she responded to the song The Beast because she introduced me to that album.
Okay.
Actually, the album's called The Dark. It's by Delta Ray. Yeah,
okay.
It's a band. I was correct.
Look, we're both being right this time.
We are just so correct all the time. Everybody get out of our way. We are the future.
Yes, exactly.
Actually, I think we're too old to be the future. I think we're just the present, Zoe. Isn't that terrifying?
We are the present. We are. At least we're not the past.
Gen Z would have something else to say about that.
Okay, I'm sorry. I have to say something real quick.
Yeah.
So...
Zoe?
Yeah. I'm gonna flame my dad on this podcast real quick.
Okay.
As you know, we've been doing a lot of social media.
Yeah.
And I shared the post when we first started this. Hi, Dad, I'm sorry.
Zoe's eyes are having tears of mirth right now.
Speaking of old man,
I think we were speaking of old men.
Well,
a while ago we were speaking.
We were talking about like old people being the past, and anyway.
Okay.
Anyway, I announced on my Facebook that we are doing this podcast, and my father, who's not that old, he posed.
Your dad really isn't that old. He's like what, in his 30s?
No. He's
40?
43. How old am I? He's 44.
Okay, that's still not very old.
Yeah. Sorry, Dad. Again. So I posted on Facebook that we're doing this podcast, and he goes, "Is this something I have to listen to live? Can I listen to it after it happens?" And I'm like, my dad doesn't know what a podcast is.
PSA for all you out there who don't know how listening to podcasts work, you are invited, nay required, to listen to it after we're done.
Yes, we don't do it live. So
it'd be just chaos if people heard us live.
To be fair, my Uncle Joey called him out for being an old man before I did. So
okay, thank you, Uncle
Joey. So while we're doing shout outs over here. Anyway, sorry, that was something that was amusing to me that I thought I'd share.
It amuses me as well. Thank you. Hi, Zoe's dad.
Okay, here's his address, his name, no. Anyway, I think that's that's all for Something Southern and life updates.
I think we've covered that ground.
Good. And it's okay that this intro potentially ran a little longer. I honestly don't know how long our intros usually are, because the story that I have for you today is a good one. I like it and I wanted to share it. However, it is fairly short.
Okay.
So
let's do it.
It's not as short as Pinky's cave.
Which is just, there's a cave and Pinky is there or was there?
Don't know what he is. I
thought Pinky was a girl. We're talking about Wichita, Texas. That's episode 4.
Yes.
I don't know. Called it Texas.
Texas's. There's multiple. Oh no.
Texas is so large it just deserves an extra syllable.
Yes, I agree with that statement.
Anyway, so let's get to this story.
Okay, so that's probably the end of our giggling. So our story today is about Nina Craigmiles. Have you heard of her?
No.
Okay. So this takes place in Tennessee, and it's specifically about Nina's Mausoleum. So for those of you who don't know, a mausoleum is, so I'm going to read the definition, a building, especially a large and stately one, housing a tomb or tombs.
I like the word stately.
I like that word too.
Yeah.
And this one is a particularly very, very stately mausoleum.
Can I see a picture?
In a minute.
Okay.
Because the whole mystery is based off of what the tomb looks like.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so
Sorry.
Not until the end.
I'll just be quiet.
So, no, don't do that. That would ruin the whole podcast.
I will speak up when necessary. I will speak up, just in general.
Here's a picture of Nina.
Oh.
So she was a little 7-year-old. She was born and grew up in Cleveland, Tennessee. And that's also where she died. And her mausoleum is in the St. Luke's.
Episcopal?
Yes. How did you know?
I was just thinking of denominations that would trip you up with how they sound.
So the St. Luke's Episcopal Church Cemetery. Nina was a little girl. She was born on August 4th in 1864. She died October 18th in 1871. So she was 7 years old, and October 18th is St. Luke's Day. So that's kind of important.
So she died on St. Luke's Day?
Yes.
Okay.
And the name of the church was St. Luke's Episcopal Church. Episcopal Church. Like I said, she was 7 years old. Her parents were Adelia and John Henderson Craigmiles, and they were 2 of Cleveland's most prominent citizens. So just to tell you a little bit about John Craigmile, he was a very, very wealthy man, and he made his money during the California Gold Rush by shipping supplies, because he had the trains.
Well, if you got the trains, you got everything.
Exactly.
At that point.
Yes. And so he would sell supplies to the Confederate Army.
I'm wincing.
Yeah.
Okay.
But he was kind of scamming them too, because he was said to buy meat at 8 cents a pound and then sell it to the Army for 14 cents a pound. So he was marking it up almost 200%.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was raking in the cash. He was drafted, but he sent a substitute in his place.
Okay.
I like it because it was the Confederate Army, but at the same time, it's very cowardly in my eyes. And also it's basically, I'm saying I'm too rich to die in a war, so you poor person go in my place.
Yeah, it kind of makes me think of trial by combat in specifically Game of Thrones, where they can pick a champion. I think they can actually do that in other things too, but I know it most from Game of Thrones, where they can pick a champion to fight in their place.
Okay.
So it's like, you're not actually in danger, but...
Right. But, like, only your honor is, essentially.
Honor. Sorry.
Honor! Sorry. I'm just thinking of Zuko now.
I'm just thinking of Game of Thrones.
Anyway, our brains went into polar opposite directions.
I don't know what Zuko is.
He's from Avatar: The Last Airbender.
Okay.
He had to restore his honor by capturing the Avatar.
Does he have black hair?
Yes. And a scar?
I do know who Zuko is.
Good job.
Thank you.
He's voiced by Dante Basco.
I don't know who that is.
It's okay. He's a personal hero of mine.
Oh.
He's in the Robin Williams movie Hook.
Oh, I have seen that.
Yeah, he's the Mohawk guy.
You know, I haven't seen it that much.
Okay. Okay. The day that Nina died, she was in a buggy, like a horse and carriage, with her grandfather, Dr. Gideon Thompson. Gideon was known to occasionally hand Nina the reins when they would drive because he was a doting grandfather who loved his granddaughter. Like, I mean, from the way people tell stories, like, everybody just loved this little girl. She must have been the perfect little angel, you know? And so he would let her hold the reins.
I feel like this is not going to end well.
However, on this day, the carriage was steered in front of an oncoming train.
By her on accident?
It's not known.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I mean, Gideon, the grandfather, did survive, but it was said that he was so distraught over the situation that he never really spoke of it.
Yeah.
So, the train was hit. Gideon was thrown clear from the accident, but Nina's was killed instantly and her body was dragged along the paths. Yeah. So, understandably, her parents were devastated by her death. She was the only child. Everybody doted on her. Mm-hmm. Everybody loved her. So, they determined that they were going to spend money to create a mausoleum to hold her ashes and to be a memorial to her life.
Okay.
So, John, her dad, bought the land that Nina and her mom had been born on. So, he bought the land, and it was also a few blocks from where she died.
So this isn't a graveyard that already exists.
Right.
Okay.
But he wanted her to be buried in a graveyard. So before he built the mausoleum, he built the church. So he built St. Luke's Memorial Episcopal Church. And he named it St. Luke's Memorial because she died on St. Luke's Day.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay, I was confused. I thought you were saying that she died near the church that already existed, and it was a coincidence because it was on St. Luke's Day.
So, because she was killed on St. Luke's Day,
they created the church.
And named it St. Luke's Memorial.
Okay.
Yeah. So it opened on October 18th, 1874, which is the 3-year anniversary of Nina's death. So in between time, Nina's ashes were at home.
Okay.
The church cost $22,000 to make.
I don't know how much that would be today.
In 2020 terms.
Oh, well, thank you.
You're welcome. That is $511,000, $511,066.45. So It was over $500,000 just for the church. The mausoleum that was made of white Carrara. I'm guessing that's how it's pronounced. It was white Carrara marble, straight from Italy, imported from Italy. It's supposed to be the purest kind of white marble. There's no other coloration, and it's white marble, and it's the highest quality money can buy.
Okay.
So it had 4-foot thick walls with a marble spire and cross that was 37 feet high, and the mausoleum was completed in 1877. And just to remind you, she died in 1871. So this is 6 years after her death that this mausoleum was finished being built. So some people say that there was supposed to be a statue of Nina, and it was made in Italy, and it was supposed to go in the church. However, it was being shipped to the United States on the Titanic. And so...
Do we think that story is real?
No, because the Titanic sank in April 1912, and her father died before 1912.
Okay, so no.
Yeah, so her father was the driving force behind this. There's no way, like, he was the one who did this. Like, obviously, her mom cared too, but he was the one who made the decision to spend all this money on her. Mm-hmm. So, I 100% doubt that it was actually on the Titanic. But I did want to bring it up because if you Google it, you'll find that story in a couple places. So, she has a marble sarcophagus that has the words born August 5th, 1864, Nina, daughter of M. Adelia and John H.E. Craigmiles, fell asleep October 18th, 1871. Which is just such a sad way to put it.
Yeah.
Fell asleep. Like, really?
Because to say the other thing is just...
Yeah.
brutal.
So the sarcophagus was topped with a carving of her body with a blanket over it. And there is a crown and a cross on top of her body.
Crown and a cross?
Yeah.
That's very heavy.
Yeah. She was his little princess.
Oh.
So, the tomb cost $20,000. Only $2,000 less than the church in that time.
So the tomb cost about $500,000.
It was, in 2020 terms, it was $464,605.86.
Wow.
Yeah. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money.
So the rest of the family was also placed in the same mausoleum when they died. In November 1873, John and Adelia had another child, but it was unnamed and it died a few hours after birth.
Oh, man. See, I was hoping they would be able to have another kid.
No.
Yeah.
And it was put in the mausoleum as well. And that was 2 years after Nina died.
Mm.
So I think at that point they were probably like, nope, no more kids.
Yeah.
John died in 1899 due to blood poisoning after he fell on an icy street. So he fell on an icy street and then...
just an infection, basically, is
yeah.
what that means. Okay.
Yeah. And then Adelia, she lived another 30 years, but when she was 80, she was hit by a car. And then when she passed... So she was hit by a car. So that's 3 members of this family who all died on a road. Like, on a means of transportation, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like, what the heck?
Mm-hmm.
So, when she passed away, she donated $99,500 to various charities, including half of that went to the church that they established. In today's money, that is $1,530,000.
Okay.
It's 1.5 mil that they had. So they were affluent, just letting you know. And they had no heirs because, yeah. Though Adelia did remarry after her husband passed. But she didn't have any kids after that. And I think her second husband passed away before her, too.
Yeah.
That wasn't in my notes, but I think I'm right in that.
Poor Adelia, guys.
Yeah. So, before I get into so I didn't say this at the beginning, but this is a mystery. It sounds like it's me setting up for a ghost story, but no, it's a mystery.
I was fully expecting a ghost story.
I mean, there's like a sprinkle of ghost.
She's doing the Salt Man.
Salt Bay.
Sorry, the Salt Bay, where he's in the sunglasses and then the sprinkling the salt.
Yeah.
In case you don't know what that is.
So, you want to hear something disturbing?
Sure.
On one of the websites that I was getting some of this information from, there was a PSA ad. You know what PSA, like an advertisement, but it's a...
public service announcement.
Yes. But it was in Spanish.
Okay.
And so I couldn't read the words that were on the screen. I could get a good guess, though.
Okay.
It was a PSA, and it showed a car being hit and dragged by a train, and it said what I think was stop because trains can't.
On the page for her.
Where she was murdered by a train, yes. It's like, that's not exactly... And first of all, why is it in Spanish? Like, I feel like those things are usually tailored to what you Google, you know?
Yeah, it's interesting.
I don't think I Googled anything Spanish around that time. But it's like, that's just kind of disturbing.
I agree.
Yeah.
I agree.
So anyway, let's get to the mystery. Like I said, this is a kind of shorter episode, because this part is going to go by kind of quick. So
I'll stretch it out. Gotta stretch out our backs.
So after Nina was placed in the mausoleum, the white, high-quality marble that I told you about,
okay,
at the entrance, right above where you would walk in, it became stained red, which this high quality of marble would not stain red. And people say with every single body that was then afterwards placed in the mausoleum, the stains just got darker and darker. And
interesting.
Every single one of them met a kind of violent death. It wasn't like a peaceful in your bed death. It was something happened and you died. And
And
so...
you bled.
And you bled and you died.
Okay.
And so a lot of people say that the red stains are the blood of the family because they just met such a tragic end. And so no matter how hard people scrub, the stains remain. It's totally unexplained. And there are people who claim that the individual, like, not tiles, but the parts have been taken out and replaced with more white marble, and then it restains itself. Yeah. So there's no explanation for how they got there, but like I said, people believe it's the blood of the family because their deaths were so tragic and bloody. Marble sometimes there's two reasons why marble would stain red or any other color. Sometimes marble isn't pure white marble. Sometimes it has elements of other stones and minerals inside the marble. So
wait, but why would do stones typically develop a stain that grows?
No. Well,
okay.
Kind of, but no. Okay. So that would be one explanation is, it was just red naturally, and people are lying when they say that it wasn't red from the beginning, because we don't have like a photo of it from the 1870s, 1880s. So some people say that it wasn't the purest white marble. But these people were so rich, they left behind $1.5 million. They could afford the purest white marble, know? And then another way a marble would stain is if it has trace elements of iron, and when exposed to elements, the iron would rust.
Oh, okay.
However, again, this is supposed to be the purest white marble money can buy. And John, the dad, would have made sure that his child was entombed in the most pristine area, So, people are saying, like, there's no way this is a natural phenomena.
Yeah.
To sprinkle in that little ghost, there is a new playground that was built behind the church. And some people say that since that playground has been built, they've been able to see a little girl in 1800s attire playing in the area.
Okay.
So they say it's like Nina, and she sees it, and she wants to play on the playground.
Interesting.
Yeah. So I did
a photo for
me?
Yes. Thank you.
I do want to show you a few photos. So this is a photo of her sarcophagus, yes. This is when she was born. This is the fell asleep. And that's the blanket with the crown and the cross.
Okay.
And then this is the outside of the mausoleum where you can see how it is.
That really looks like its own little chapel.
Yeah. And then there's another photo of it from a distance.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's the stains.
That does look odd.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's not like a flow through the stones. Like, if I've seen colored marble before, it like follows a vein through.
Yeah.
And this is literally like, it looks like you just spilled red nail polish on a bathroom counter. Like,
it does.
It looks like a blood stain.
It really does. And it's kind of feathering out in sections. By that I mean, like, there's places where it is a deeper red, and then almost like water dilutes the color a little bit further out.
So I feel like there's some more on the other side. That's a really good photo of
it. It's very stark.
Yeah.
And it's just at this entrance?
It's just at the entrance. There's no other piece of marble that has it.
There's 3 stains, too. So one for her and her parents, if that's the thought behind it.
Yeah. And one of them is the largest. And that would probably be her.
I was thinking.
So that's the end of my photos. But that's pretty intense. Like, an unsolved mystery. And people, sure, you can find explanations that, it's just iron, it rusted. Mm-hmm. Or maybe it wasn't as pure. But it's one of those things where it's almost so tame that it has to be wild. Like,
ooh, that's a good quote.
like, it's not rusting all over. If it was rusting all over and people were like, oh, it's drenched in blood, that would be one thing. It's like, okay, you didn't get the right marble. But it's like, it's just this specific entrance, and it's so little of it that I have to believe that it's something supernatural.
Mm-hmm. I really find phenomena interesting that, how do I say this? Where it's, like you're talking about, where it's small enough that it doesn't have to be paranormal.
Right.
But it totally could be, and it would kind of make sense if it was.
Mm-hmm. And that kind of fits in with what we were talking about earlier.
Yeah.
Where it's like, you're not sure if there's a ghost watching you as you walk through an abandoned house, but you did know that somebody did die on this property. So
we make sure that people are with you when you're at work. This wasn't an abandoned house by any means. It was on USC property. But Zoe, I'm going to take you back to when I was living in Columbia Hall. But on the way walking to Columbia Hall, there's a row. This is on the University of South Carolina campus.
And speaking of, Columbia Hall is a dorm.
Yes, I lived in Columbia Hall as a freshman. That was my freshman dorm. It is on the north edge of campus, and if you are walking there, you're passing. There's a street that's kind of wide, and then there is a row of maybe 3 older houses on the right. But I would typically be walking on the left because that's closer to Columbia Hall, and there is just one house over there, and I would walk past it at night. It was always dark, and I always felt very odd there. And part of it was, I think that there was this magnolia tree type bush with low-hanging limbs that were, so if I was about to walk into, I'm just now passing the yard, I was a little bit nervous for my safety's sake in terms of who might be hiding in that tree if I'm walking alone.
Gotcha.
Just because it's so dark and it's so close to the sidewalk, I'm almost touching it. But right after that, I would be concerned about the house because it's just very old, and there are no blinds. It's just all these dark windows, and you really do feel watched when you're walking right past it.
Yeah.
Do you know the house I'm talking about?
No, not at all, but I can imagine the area. I know the area pretty well, and all those houses are they're either big, beautiful houses, or they're older houses that give you the heebie-jeebies.
Well, I mean, in this case, it's on campus, so it was one of those houses that when it expanded, it was used for campus.
Gotcha, okay.
So there's some sort of office in there. And during the day, it's really lovely. And during the night, it's really lovely, too. It's brick. It's beautiful.
Then I do know what building you're talking about, yes.
Oh, okay.
Okay, yeah.
But it's just, now that I have the context of our logo, which is the pineapple with all the eyes, the houses kind of feel like eyes, because there's quite a few of them, and I would pass by, and sometimes I wouldn't look in them because I'm scared, but sometimes I would look just almost as if I was daring something to be seen by me, because I felt seen.
It's like that whole thing that we talked about before where we won't look out of windows when it's dark because we were afraid to see something looking back at us.
Yeah.
It's like you're afraid to look into a window. Yeah. Because what if there's somebody in there and they're just staring at you?
Honestly, if I saw that, I'm just imagining a pale child's face. It doesn't even have to be a child, just a face, because there's a lot of moonlight. I don't know. I'm just imagining if I had seen something like that. Yeah. Just the heebie-jeebies. Because, I felt a little bit unsafe in that area anyway, because I don't know. I felt unsafe in that area anyway until I crossed the street and I was at my dorm. Just because it's not very well lit. No. At all. No. And on that part of campus, there's only 2 dorms, and they're right beside each other, and they're across the street. Mm-hmm. And, I mean, no shade on USC's campus. It's just a little bit of an eerie area to walk through because it's so empty.
Right.
It's not like the women's quad or like honors, you know?
Well, when I was commuting to school, I would have to walk. You know where Gambrell Hall is?
Yes.
So Gambrell Hall is...
It was really close there, yeah.
Yeah, it's close to there. It's probably about maybe a quarter of a mile away from Columbia Hall.
Less than that.
Less than that?
Okay, if I am leaving the door of Columbia Hall, I can run to a class in Gambrell in 3 minutes.
Okay. So I was walking from Gambrell Hall, and I would pass Columbia Hall, and then I would walk up to, do you know where Gervais Street is?
Yeah.
So I'd walk up all the way to Gervais Street, which is probably 3 or 4 blocks, and then I would walk past a hotel and a church.
Are you talking about the USCN?
No.
Okay.
I would keep walking on that road. It was about a mile from Gambrell Hall. I would have to walk that entire distance to my car at 6 in the afternoon, which doesn't sound bad, except for when we're in the fall and it's daylight savings time.
And it's just already like you're in the middle of the night.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I would walk home alone, or to my car alone.
I didn't know this.
And the entire lot was empty because the buses stopped at 6. And my class got out at 5:40, and my teacher always ran late, so I wouldn't be able to catch the bus in time.
So you should have texted me to just walk with you, and then you could drive me back to my apartment.
I'm not entirely sure. No, my last semester, I parked in the garage, so yeah. Remember, kids, when you go to school, please use the buddy system when walking at night.
Really, use the buddy system. I used to work at the Barnes & Noble College, and there was a 2-week period when I worked from 8 p.m. to 2 a.m., and I would walk through the horseshoe at first to get to my car, and then when I moved into my apartment, it was basically the same length to get to my apartment. I had family members who learned that I was walking that alone, and so they put their phone on volume, so I would call them and wake them up, and that was like our plan.
Aww.
You know? I know, it's incredibly sweet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I know we went on a tangent there a little bit.
You know, I feel like it's fine.
Yeah. Because it's like within the scope.
We're in the sphere. We're not talking about pizza.
Though. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Okay. You have anything to say?
If you liked today's episode, please review and subscribe on Apple Podcasts. We're also available on Spotify, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, everywhere except Pandora because they don't like us yet. Well, they might by the time this is out.
Yes, and if you have any stories you'd like us to cover, any Southern spooky stories you'd like us to cover, or if you have a Southern spooky story of your own, or you just want to give us some feedback, please send us an email to hauntedhospitalitypodcast@gmail.com. Also, if you want to see our notes and links to our sources, please go to hauntedhospitality.wordpress.com.
You can also join us on Instagram at Haunted Hospitality, where you can see our playlists, our Spotify playlists per episode, or you can join us on Twitter at Haunted Hosts. We are also on Facebook, Haunted Hospitality Podcast. We would love to see you there. Stay spooky!